rise to join the Peace Brigade as we honor our country and those that serve with the flag of our national anthem.
Good evening and welcome to Grandview, Missouri. It's homecoming night, and we are looking forward to a great matchup tonight between the Belton Pirates and the Grandview High School Bulldogs. I am Heath Cooper here alongside my partner, head boys basketball coach here at Grandview High School, Coach Randy Ferris. And Coach, you're looking at the game tonight. There's a lot of excitement because it is homecoming, but also there's a lot of playoff implications here as well, as both teams kind of started off the season with a couple of wins. Now they've kind of hit a dry stretch here. What do you think is the key tonight, and what do you see?
Well, this is a pretty simple game. It's kind of an old-school game. The first team that establishes the run is probably going to win the game. On Belton's side, we've got a couple of sophomores that are really throwback, old-school type players. Number 30, Joshua Hicks, plays both fullback and inside linebacker for them. And their quarterback plays free safety. So they're both playing both ways. They're both playing the entire game, and they're just kind of old-school players. And that's kind of the way the Belton offense comes at you, too. They come at you with the run. Defensively, they got two really good players. The inside linebacker, number 42, Taylor Tapp, he's an assignment sound kid, and our offensive linemen have got to account for him every snap on offense. And then they have a defensive end, a senior, a college-bound kid, Darius Jewett, who's got a chance to play on Saturdays next year. For Grandview, can't say too much about the game that one of our young men had last week, Freedom McKean-Miladen. I came away from that shaking my head because, you know, I'm kind of back in the old days. He does look on defense. He looks like a modern guy, Tom Bahali, because he just gives the effort all the time, and he's all over the field. But on offense, he played tight end, and he was just dragging people last week after the catch. And he reminded me of the old first famous tight end from the Baltimore Colts, John Mackey, and he just really played well.
Now, Coach, we're headed into district. We talked about the playoffs a couple weeks ago. Obviously, over 2 weeks, things change a lot. Kind of explain how things have changed both within this district and how the district sets up.
Well, actually, for Grandview, it's changed because at the time, 2 weeks ago, we would have had a home game, and by losing to Raytown South last Friday, Raytown South vaulted up to the 4th-ranked team in the district, and we're now the 5th-ranked team in the district. So if the district were held tonight, we would play at Raytown South again, just like we did last week. But there's a lot of things that can happen, a lot of things stranger than this have happened, because tonight, Raytown South goes up against Raytown at Ted Chitwood Field there in Raytown. And anything can happen when you play that game against those two Raytowns. Plus, we're playing a Belton team. We think that we have a very good opportunity to steal a win against a 5A squad. And even at the top of the district, we've got the first place team, Harrisonville, is playing 6-0 Oak Grove. So even the top team in the district, there could be a lot of shakeup. But there's 3 games left, and we'll see what happens during those 3 games.
Okay, Coach, we'll have you back to maybe give your keys to the game. Folks, we have a very special guest right now. What better guest to have this evening than on homecoming night than the head principal here at Grandview High School, Mr. Stephen Scraggs. Mr. Scraggs, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Cooper. Good to see you.
Okay, Mr. Scraggs, first year in the district, first Grandview High School as a principal. Kind of tell us about your background, kind of where you've been, and what you're looking forward to here at Grandview High.
Well, this is my 17th year in education. I have been middle school, high school, principal, assistant principal, teacher on the Kansas City, Missouri side. Most recently, I was the director of elementary ed in a program called Student-Centered Learning in the Kansas City, Missouri School District prior to coming to Grandview. So I'm very excited to be here, looking forward to a great school year.
And so far, it's been fantastic for us all. Now, if you could look kind of into the future, what would be your vision for Grandview High School maybe overall? What are some differences you're looking to make here at the high school?
Well, I mean, obviously, if you look around at some of the physical things that have occurred here at Grandview, the upgrade in facilities, obviously the district has made a solid commitment to making sure that we had the best things for our kids, our student athletes, our academic programs, and so forth. So that's obviously very exciting. My vision really is to follow through with if we're going to have world-class facilities, we need to have a world-class educational program. So providing students with the best opportunities to be involved in learning experiences that are not only important in the classroom, but are relevant in their lives and skills that they can take on, so that when they cross the stage and receive that graduation diploma, they have all types of options available to them. And if we can create those types of opportunities, I think we'll be where we need to be.
Wonderful. If I'm a student here at Grandview High School, you talked about opportunities both in and out of the classroom. What are maybe some things that you'd like to do to enhance that student experience?
Well, for starters, we really need to reach out to the community. There are a lot of important resources, valuable resources that are available, not just in business, but we've got a vibrant alumni here in the Grandview area, folks that I know our students could touch base with. And create the types of opportunities where we put kids in the community doing important things, making a difference, working with younger students, certainly being involved in things that impact their lives as they look towards the future. I mean, the school district is very involved in technology. We certainly have a technology initiative putting laptops in each high school student's hands. And so creating the types of opportunities and experiences where students can use that kind of technology experience is going to be important for our students in the future.
That's great. Looks like there's some great things headed for the students here at Grandview High School. And Mr. Scraggs, I've heard a little bit of a rumor that we do have the new beautiful facilities, as you'd mentioned, the new AstroTurf, but we've heard that you have some experiences playing football, and in particular college football. Maybe tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, I was, in fact, a decent high school athlete. I wouldn't say good, and was fortunate enough to be recruited by a number of very small colleges on the Kansas side, and received a scholarship offer from Emporia State University. But I found out very quickly the rigors that athletes go through at the college level, and made me an easy decision to decide real quickly that I was interested in being an educator.
Okay. Mr. Scraggs, we really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you down the road.
Thank you.
Okay, Coach Ferris, you are back now. 2 weeks ago, we were here. We were back on homecoming night. What are the keys to the game tonight against Belton Pirates?
Well, one thing I've got to say is last week against Ray South on Friday night, we got down 21-0 in the game. And then from that point on, we outscored Ray South 36-27. So our team doesn't quit. They don't give up. They didn't give up in that game. I see no reason why they will give up on the season. With that being said, I talked to Coach Leach earlier today, and Coach Leach said there are three things that have got to happen that are keys to the victory for us today. Number one, we must stop their running attack. And they've come with some diversified things. They've run the Delaware wing T a couple of times. They've run some I, and then they've run a lot of option out of both things. So we've got to be assignment sound and stop the run. Then the second thing, with our two running backs that we've used all year, we have got to establish the run, but we've also got to establish the outside part of our run, make those big linebackers they have in the middle chase us a little bit. And then the third thing that Coach Leach said is tonight's game will set the tempo for the next three games, and that will lead us into district, and a district that's still wide open for us to get a home game in the first game of district.
So it looks like it's going to be a fantastic game tonight. Two teams offensively showing a lot of different formations, and should be a good game on the defensive side as well. Stick with us here at on homecoming night here on the Slice Network. There is a chill in the air, and that tells us two things here in Grandview, Missouri, as fall is upon us, as the temperatures drop and the leaves change to another color, and it also means we are barreling quickly towards playoff season here, and we have a very intriguing game this evening as we have the Belton Pirates visiting the Grandview Bulldogs. Also tonight, a very special night here on Slice. We are going to be bringing you not only the game live, but also a halftime homecoming crowning of the homecoming king and queen, interviewed by our very own Marcos Thomas. So thank you for joining us here tonight on the Slice Network. I am Heath Cooper, here along with the aforementioned Marcos Thomas, who is our audio engineer, and our executive producer, Sheldon Neal. And this should be a very intriguing game tonight between two teams who have had very similar paths coming into this game, as both teams had some early momentum in their seasons, winning some early games, but have kind of hit a bump in the road over the last 3 weeks to a month, and are looking to get some of that momentum we had mentioned going into the playoffs, which are in about 3 weeks. We start with the Belton Pirates. They are the visiting team, as we mentioned. They are 1-5, but do not be deceived by the 1-5 record. Talking to Coach Leach, Andy Leach for the Grandview Bulldogs this week, he mentioned Belton is in year 2 with a new coaching staff, the head coach being Mark Thomas, and that his staff, along with himself, are rebuilding, and they are showing signs of improvement every week, especially in the play of several of their underclassmen. As you will see tonight, Coach Thomas has a nice group of seniors, but he also has a group of underclassmen that have kind of early on maybe taken a few lumps, being a little inexperienced, but right now, coming into week 7, into the season, they are now seasoned veterans. So you will see several underclassmen play offensively, defensively, and sometimes on special teams, so they are going to play a lot for Belton this evening. On the other side, the Grandview Bulldogs here on homecoming night, they are 2-4. Had some early momentum with a couple wins early on against Oak Park and William Chrisman, and they've hit a little bump in the road, but they're still alive. And we are ready for kickoff here at Grandview High School here on the Slice Network. Belton will be receiving the ball. Kicking off to Belton will be number 23 for Grandview, Michael Hoff, the 160-pound junior, and we are away here at Grandview High School in Missouri. The kick is returned starting at the 10, up to the 20, up to the 25, up to the 30. He's got a hole, up to the 40, and up to the 50 before he is finally wrestled down on the far sideline as Belton sets up a really nice return all the way up to midfield, and they will start there with excellent field position this evening. Belton has played kind of a two-quarterback system this year. They have played a sophomore, very talented sophomore by the name of Darren Johnson, who also plays free safety for Belton, and they've also played a senior who's in there right now, the senior Sean Lewis. I formation. Looking to throw is Belton, throwing deep. Lewis throws deep and overthrows his wide receiver. That was number 33 on the play, Jaslon Willis, the sophomore. So once again, you will see several underclassmen tonight for the Pirates playing significant roles. Some of them playing on offense, defense, and even on special teams. So several of these Pirates will play every minute of this game this evening. Interesting that Belton is in the I formation. They actually ran a double wing, but they're in the I once again. They have it looks like a false start. For Belton is number 58, jumps a little bit early, and that's the junior Gorman, the guard, jumping early. One thing you will see from Belton is this is a team that likes to run the ball, and run the ball some more. They run the double wing offense, which is more of an option look. They will also run some I formation as well. So far, they've shown that I formation, but they're going to play ball control, and they have a very, very good running back, number 28, Eddie Wineberry, who's a senior. Wineberry dotting the I right now. There's a handout to Wineberry over the right side, and he is brought down immediately. On the play is number 98 for the Bulldogs. I'm sorry, I did not see the number 72. Who is Josiah Quick, the 280-pound senior who has been absolutely fantastic for the Bulldogs so far this year on the defensive side of the football. There's a picture of Josiah. Again, the senior, a guy who will be missed next year for Grandview, has been probably the best defensive player for Grandview this year. Makes the play. Third down. Looks like about 17. Under center is Lewis, the senior, and it looks like we might have another false start by Belton. Speaking with Coach Andy Leach this week, he had mentioned that Belton has changed offenses from a double wing, which they showed a couple weeks ago in their game, to last week against William Chrisman. They featured more of this eye attack that we are seeing tonight, and they're going with the senior quarterback, Sean Lewis. We had mentioned earlier they also play a sophomore, Darren Johnson, who's number 7, who we expect to see tonight. But last week they played mostly the senior, number 3, who is under center this evening. One back set, 2 wide receivers down at the bottom of your screen. Back to pass. Lewis, wide open was the receiver on that play, and again they're trying to get the ball to number 33, Jaslon Willis, the sophomore, on the slant. We do have a flag on the play. And it might be an illegal formation, so Belton will be pushed back even further, as they may be close to their 20, if not inside their 20-yard line. So Belton, with 3 penalties on the first drive, continues to shoot themselves in the foot. You got to wonder how the changing of offenses might have affected the Pirates as they elect to punt here on 4th and 22. So a good defensive first series for the Bulldogs. Back deep for Grandview is Javon Turner. Punt goes straight up into the air. That's not going to be returnable. It does take a Belton bounce all the way down to the 30 and inside the 30 down to about the 26-yard line. So Grandview will start on their own 26. 0-0, 10:23 left here on the Slice Network. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. As we see the Bulldogs, quarterback by senior Ryan Lee. Very, very big athletic offensive line with a couple of the guys going well over 300 pounds. And they feature 2 excellent running backs in Javon Turner and Jerron Alexander. Look for Grandview tonight to maybe try to take advantage of their speed on the outside against a Belton team who's very physical up front. Right up the middle was Turner. He looks like he's going to get a gain of about 2 yards. There's a good push on the first down from Appa Visenya, Akil Williams, and the offensive line for the Bulldogs. Belton, a 4-4 base team, plays a little cover 3 on the back end, and they have very physical linebackers who will get in and they will hit you. Handoff once again up the middle. I think this time it was Jerron Alexander. I did not see the number. That was Jerron Alexander, one of the better running backs in the Suburban Conference, but he's held to not much of a gain there, and that will bring up 3rd down and about 8 yards. So that Belton defense we talked about, which is very physical, especially at the linebacker position. They also have a very good defensive end, number 41, Darius Jewett. So they've got some guys that can really play good defense. Here comes Alexander right up the middle. There was a little bit of a hole, but not a whole lot, as again we talked about those linebackers who fill that hole quickly, and that'll bring up 4th down for the Bulldogs. 4th and 5, and it looks like Grandview is going to go for it here on homecoming night. Although Lee is back in punt formation now, and he's going to go ahead and kick it. A decent kick. Looks like it will hit at the 35 and bounce inside the 30 and down to about the 31-yard line. So a pretty good kick by Ryan Lee, the quarterback, the senior, longtime starter for the Bulldogs, pushes Belton down inside their own 30. Once again, thank you for joining us on the Slice Network. You can check us out at www.myslicetv.com. This is broadcast number 4 for us. Once again, I am Heath Cooper along with Marcos Thomas and our executive producer, Sheldon Neal, and we're so happy you joined us here tonight on homecoming night here at Grandview High School. High formation from Belton. Again, it's The senior Lewis at quarterback. Option play. Fakes or gave it to the fullback. Fullback is one of their better players, and another young guy, number 30, Joshua Hicks, who, interestingly enough, actually started last year for Belton as a freshman. Not many guys have the ability as a freshman to play varsity football, but this young man had that ability and continues to get better as a sophomore and is one of their better players, not only on offense but also on defense for Coach Thomas's Belton Pirate bunch. Dotting the I is Woodbury again. He will get the ball right up the middle. My apologies, that was not Woodbury. That was number 18 for the Pirates, Thomas Clary, a senior. Played some wide receiver this year for the Pirates, but is in there at running back as they seem to be bringing in more substitutions. Speaking with Coach Leach this week, he had mentioned that a lot of the Belton Pirates will play both ways. Some of them will even play special teams as well. So Belton, we'll see how they hold up in terms of stamina as this game progresses. Again, offset I. Fake to the fullback. It's Lewis over the right side, up to the 45, up to the 50, up to the 40, 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, and Lewis will score. Touchdown, Belton Pirates. What looks to be about a 62-yard run for Thomas Lewis. So the senior Sean Lewis, who has split time this year with the sophomore, is taking over the reins here, and he has a big run for 62 yards for the touchdown, and the extra point is up and good. So with 7:23 remaining in the first, Belton 7, Grandview 6 on a Slice Network. Hey, check us out in the comments section in the box below. Give us a comment. We'll mention some of our favorite comments on the air during our broadcast tonight. Also, keep in mind, all these live broadcasts can be seen on your computer, your mobile device, including your iPhone, iPad, and Android. So check us out, www.myslicetv.com. So Grandview kind of continues. One of the issues it's had this year is getting down early. And as Coach Ferris mentioned in the pregame, this is a team under Andy Leach that will not give up. And that strength has shown frequently throughout the year. Last week, getting down 21-0 to Raytown South, battling all the way back, but just not having enough gas at the end. But this is a team at Grandview High School that does not give up. So, folks, stick with us because this is going to be a great game tonight. So Belton strikes first, 7-0, 7:23 remaining, and they will kick off. Kicking off for the Pirates is the sophomore Caleb Chevalier. Plays wide receiver and defensive back as well as kicks off for the Pirates. We have a whistle on a play. Delay a game. Or reset. Excuse me, folks. It was not a penalty. Our officiating crew calling for a reset of the game clock. Reset of the game clock. So we will kick it off again. Back deep for Grandview is Ivan Lofton, the senior wide receiver, one of the best wide receivers in the Metro, and Jarrell Alexander, number 2. And, folks, teams have not been kicking to them all year, and they put it on the ground, and Alexander fields it at the 10, at the 15, at the 20, makes a move and gets hit hard at about the 23-yard line. So Belton doing a pretty good job tonight on special teams with both their kickoff coverage and their kick return. As we mentioned earlier, Coach Andy Leach very high on the job that Coach Mark Thomas and his staff has done rebuilding this program. They're doing it the right way. They're doing it by stressing fundamentals, and it shows weekly as they continue to get better, and they're doing it with young players. So they are forced to be reckoned with in the future. Under center is Lee. They'll hand off wide right. Jarrell Alexander, he's got a hole around the edge up to the 30 for about a 5-yard gain. So a good push by Visenya, Williams, Quick. Some of the offensive line up front for Grandview. Once again, Belton's more of a 4-4 team. They've got a very good defensive end, couple in Darius Jewett, who's a senior, but they've also got some very nice linebackers, so they are a good defense. But Grandview with a good gain on first down. Brings up second and about 6 yards. Lee's back to throw. Pass is overthrown. He was looking for Lofton in the flat. That ball is overthrown. Looked like a good route from Lofton, just a little high. As senior to senior, that one does not work for the Bulldogs, which will bring us up 3rd and 6. Grandview on its own 27, 28-yard line. Pretty important third down play. As you see, there are 3 wide receivers down at the bottom of your screen, one at the top. That is Ivan Lofton, one of the better wide receivers in the metro area. This time, pass out to the flat. Good block on the right side, but he is tackled immediately, and that is number 31 for Grandview. And he looks to be down on the play as the big hit was delivered. Looks mainly... I'm sorry, the number was 20. That's Deontay Moss, a 156-pound sophomore for the Bulldogs. Looks almost like a cramp, which is pretty surprising here on a cold October 5th night in Grandview, Missouri. Lee is back again, and he will kick it away. Low kick, but a nice spiral. It'll have to be fielded. No, it's not fielded by Belton, and the ball will go out at the 23. So Lee, who's been a starter for the Bulldogs at the quarterback spot for 4 years now, is showing his abilities as a punter as well. And he's been a weapon so far. So Belton will take over at their own about 23-yard line. Belton up 7. 7-0 Belton here, 5:50 remaining in the first. It was Lewis on a 62-yard sprint to the end zone, give Belton the lead here early on. It is Lewis under center again. Wineberry dotting the I with Hicks at fullback. It's a pitch play which is blown dead. Probably offsides on Grandview. And it is offsides on Grandview, so Belton will get a little bit of a bump up here in field position. Grandview's defensive line led by number 72, Josiah Quick. Maybe a little too quick on that play. So that will bring up a redo and downs. It will be 1st and 5. Belton on the 28. 2 wide receivers up to the top of your screen. Wineberry dotting the I. Hand off to the fullback right up the middle. And he is wrapped up at, wow, you see the physical nature of number 41, Darius Jewett, who we mentioned at defensive end, gets met at the line of scrimmage but powers his way up to the 34-yard line for a first down, Belton. So Belton, we see that running attack. Coach Leach has told us about their very physical team, both up front and, as you saw there, at the fullback position and the running back as well. Fake pitch, they give it to Jewett right up the middle again, and he's going to get about a yard before he is wrestled down on the play at about the 35-yard line. Javon Turner makes the stop on the play, brings up a 2nd and 9 for the Pirates. Belton has only attempted 2 passes, both dropping incomplete. But both times it looked like the wide receivers may have been open on the play. The connection just was not made. I formation once again. Fake handoff. Lewis is back to throw. He's going to unload. Wide open over the middle is Jewett, but is a little overthrown, and it is incomplete, which will bring up a 3rd and 9 for the Pirates on their own 34-yard line. So, folks, honestly, outside of the big run by Lewis, Grandview's defense has been pretty good. They have not allowed a pass completion yet, and they've done a good job, for the most part, of stopping the run outside of that big play. So 3rd down, 9, 4:52 remaining here in the first quarter. 7-0 Belton here on Slice. Lewis under center, Wineberry up the middle. Big run up to the 41-yard line. He will pick up a gain of about 6, which will bring up 4th down for the Pirates. 4th and 3. Belton looks to be in punt formation here as Grandview's defense holds up after the big penalty against the Pirates. Austin Goyne, the sophomore, will kick it away for Belton. Deep for the Bulldogs is Javon Turner. Snap is good. Kick is a nice kick, which will drive Turner back a little bit as it angles, and it will actually go out of bounds at the 34-yard line. I'm sorry, he's marking it off even more, about the 37-yard line. So Grandview, probably the best position they've had all night, will take over. Talking to Coach Leach this week, he had mentioned that Belton's defense has some good talent, and they continue to get better and better every week. One player he had mentioned as being really, really good player is the senior Sean Lewis, who plays linebacker for them as well, although he is not in the game right now. Pitch play. Jarrell Alexander going up the middle, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage by number 41, Jewett. We have called his name several times, the senior. Fullback and defensive end, one of the better defensive ends in the Suburban Conference, makes a play. Alexander does pick up a couple, which will bring up about 2nd and 8 on the Grandview 38. Lee under center, one back set. One person they have not looked to yet is the tight end, Freedom Akamaladen. Jarrell Alexander, nice hole up the middle, nice move. Squirts free for about 5 yards. That brings up a very manageable 3rd down and about 1. So a good run by Jarrell Alexander, who seems to be gaining momentum, maybe getting the edge a little bit quicker here in the first quarter as we have it 7-0. The Belton Pirates over the Grandview Bulldogs. 3:10 remaining here at homecoming night at Grandview High School. Hey, folks, check out Minsky's Pizza on State Line. They partner with Harvesters. So if you bring in a canned good, you receive $2 off any large pizza. So visit Minsky's on State Line for the delicious gourmet pizza and add some wings to your order. Probably good. Very special guest in the booth is Grandview Athletic Director Steve Robertson has joined us. So they actually moved the chains on that play. Grandview with a 1st down. So they'll get a new set of downs from their own 47-yard line. Lee, Jarrell Alexander, big hole up the middle, and he will break free up to the 40 and down to the 35, and still rolling down to the 32-yard line is Alexander on a big run. And Alexander made some really nice moves, but it was that offensive line led by Josiah Quick that created a big hole for Jarrell. You see Jarrell, really good student at Grandview High School. The junior, he will be back next year for the Bulldogs with a big run down to the Belton 34-yard line. Lee in shotgun. Good snap right to Alexander this time. Up to the 30, so a direct snap right to the tailback, Alexander, who's got the hot hand right now. And he rolls down to the 30-yard line, so a pickup of about 4, bringing up 2nd and 6 or 7 here in the first quarter. Again, Belton 7, Grandview 0. We are early in the game. 2:15 remaining, clock rolling in the first here on a cool October 5th night on homecoming here at Grandview High. I formation, Jarrell Alexander, nice push again by the offensive line up front. He's going to get about 5 yards. So we've talked about that Grandview offensive line frequently this year. They are big, they are athletic, and they lead the way for normally a trio of running backs, Jerron Alexander, Javon Turner, and Ryan Winters, who is not playing this evening. So this is a team in Grandview that can move the ball and move the ball in a hurry with the rush. Lee under center, high formation. He's going to look to throw it. In the flat, it's Lofton. He breaks a tackle, and he might go. No, he steps out of bounds. But what a great move to avoid the first defender as Grandview is rolling on offense now. That'll be a first down for the Bulldogs down to the 11-yard line of the Belton Pirates. And again, you can't say enough about that offensive line from Grandview paving the way for not only Alexander and the other running backs, but also giving Lee enough time to throw that ball out to the flat to Lofton. Under center, Lee. Dotting the I. Great hole up the middle. Jerron Alexander straight ahead for the Grandview touchdown. So again, it's that offensive line up front for Grandview that makes the difference with a huge hole. Jarrell Alexander for the touchdown. Snap is a little low. The extra point is up, and it is good. So the game is tied 7-7 here at Grandview High School on a homecoming night on the Slice Network.
Thank you. Can I help you today?
No thanks. I'm just looking. Oh, this is cute. So?
Too tight,
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Like they're the fashion police.
So we are back here, homecoming night at Grandview High School here in Grandview, Missouri. We are tied 7-all, minute 24 here in the first quarter, as it was Jarrell Alexander right up the middle for a Grandview touchdown, evening the score. So Grandview will kick off. It's number 23 for the Bulldogs, Michael Hoff, the junior. The kick is on the ground. It will be returned by Belton up to about the 48-yard line. On the return is number 44, Tucker Elkins, only a freshman. Again, we mentioned earlier, Coach Thomas is in full effect with the youth movement. He's got some good seniors, but he is willing to play some young guys and get them experience, which shows you this Belton program is on the rise. In due time, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with here in the Suburban Conference. Lewis under center. Fakes it's an option play, and he will keep it for about 4 yards. He faked to the fullback. It looked like a good push from Belton's offensive line. And he will get up to about the 47-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd and 7. Less than a minute remaining here in the first quarter on Slice. So Belton, we mentioned earlier, they're running a lot of double wing offense early on this year. They have now committed to the I formation, and it seems to be working fairly well as they have ran the ball very well thus far. Once again, Grandview on the defensive line jumps off sides, and that'll push Belton further into Grandview territory. So that will bring up a 2nd and 1. So not only A very manageable second down, but a down in which Lewis could make you pay with his arm on a throw. They have had a couple wide receivers open, but they have yet to connect. Maybe watch for the pass if you're the Bulldogs here. One back set. It's Wineberry. Wide receiver up top, double tight end. Wide receiver on the bottom. Lewis looks to be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. It is a handout to Wineberry up the middle, and he is wrestled down. And once again, it is Josiah Quick, a name we have mentioned time after time after time here on Slice. He continues to be an absolute force from the defensive tackle position. So Belton is stopped for no gain, bringing up 3rd and 1. And that is the end of the first quarter, and we are tied here at Grandview High School on a homecoming night here on Slice. Grandview 7, Belton 7. So you catch a little of the sound of the Blue and Gold Brigade here on Homecoming Friday night. And the home Bulldogs on defense here, 3rd down and 1 from their own 41. The Bulldogs will attempt to defend the senior quarterback, number 3, Sean Lewis, who had a big run in the first quarter for a touchdown. I formation. He keeps Lewis over the right side. He's got a big hole up the middle, and he will go. Touchdown, Belton. Touchdown, Belton brings the score 13-7 as it's Lewis again on a big play. Again, it's a sophomore Chevalier to add on the extra point. Snap is good. Kick is up. Kick is good. 14-7. Belton on another big Sean Lewis run to take the lead 14-7 here at Grandview High School on the Slice Network. Minsky's Pizza on State Line is partnered with Harvesters. Right now, if you bring in canned goods, you will receive $2 off any large pizza. So visit Minsky's on State Line for their delicious gourmet pizza and add some wings to your order. Very special night tonight, as we have mentioned several times. It is homecoming night here at Grandview High School, so not only will we be bringing you the game in its full live format here on Slice, but we will also bring you the homecoming king and queen winners at halftime with our very own Marcos Thomas interviewing those two winners. So 14-7, 11:50 remaining in the second. Belton leads it. They will kick off. Once again, it's Ivan Lofton and Jarrell Alexander deep for the Bulldogs. Teams have not kicked to these two all year. Let's see if Belton puts it on the ground again. Here's the kick, and they will kick off. Turner will get it at about his own 5, up to the 15, and he is hit at the 20-yard line by a host of Belton defenders. The first one getting there is Brett Flickinger, the junior tight end, who also plays special teams for the Pirates, making the play. So it'll be Grandview ball, 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. See if they can match the damage this senior, Sean Lewis, number 3, for the Pirates, has done so far to the Bulldogs with 2 huge runs for touchdowns. Lee gets the snap. He's looking for Lofton in the flat. The catch is made. And he breaks a tackle up to the 30, so a nice pickup. Great throw and catch. You started with Lee. Out to Lofton, who makes a great move to make the first defender miss, and he gets a good 10 yards, and that looks like it's good enough for a Grandview first down. So Lee shows the arm strength and the reason why he has been a 4-year starter here at Grandview High School. Lee under shotgun. Backs to his right and his left. He will take it. He's looking for Lofton on a fade route. And he was open, just a tad overthrown, but Lofton was open as he had beaten his defender, number 7, Darren Johnson, the sophomore defensive back, by a step or two. But Lee put just a little too much air under that, although it was a beautiful pass, and probably would have went for 6 if Lofton runs under that just a little bit more. But you can see the talent that Grandview possesses at both the quarterback and wide receiver position, as that was a beautiful throw by Lee, and Ivan Lofton had beat his defender as he's done so many times before. Handoff. Jarrell Alexander, another good block, but he is met again by that host of good linebackers that the Pirates have at the 32-yard line. Brings up 3rd and 8. 11 minutes remaining in the second quarter. A game that has been highlighted by Sean Lewis, the senior quarterback for Belton, who has had 2 monster runs to allow Belton to have the early lead. Lee, back to his left, back to his right. He's back to throw it. He will throw it. And it is Lofton who makes a catch at the 45 and up to the 50-yard line for a Grandview first down. So once again, you see the arm strength from Lee as he throws a beautiful ball for about 20 yards to Lofton, who shows why he's one of the better wide receivers in the metro area. And Grandview will hurry up to the line as they have a first down on the Belton 49. Once again, back to his left, back to his right. Lee under center. The ball is snapped over his head, but the play is blown dead. But the early indications from the booth is it may be on Belton. Let's see what the officiating crew has for us here on a cool fall homecoming night at Grandview High School here on the Slice Network. And it is offsides, although what will Grandview do here? Offsides on Belton, okay. He had shown offsides, he had shown the signal, but he did not point either way, so we were a little unsure in the booth, but that is definitely a penalty on Belton. So that will push Grandview deeper into Belton territory as they will have the ball on the 44. First down and 5. Once again, it is Lee in the shotgun, and he will hand off. Turner, left side, big hole. Bruising his way up for a Grandview first down. So Turner, who is a scat back, a quick guy, a guy who has a lot of speed. That time he meets number 30, Josh Hicks, the sophomore linebacker who he had mentioned in pregame, and runs him right over to get a couple more yards. And Hicks is one of the guys Coach Leach talked about being so good on that defense for Belton, and Jarrell Alexander makes him pay on that play. I formation. Javon Turner dotting the I. 3 wide receivers at the top of your screen, led by Lofton. Lee under center, and there's yet another flag on the play. Looks to be a false start. Delay of game on Grandview. So right when they start to roll offensively, they kind of shoot themselves in the foot, and they are pushed back 5 yards, so it'll be first down and 15 from the 43-yard line. 3 wide down to the bottom of your screen. It's Javon Turner in the I formation with Lee under center. Looking outside, that pass is complete. And up the side, good tackle, but up the side for Grandview is number 85, Harvey Kendall, the junior wide receiver, making a nice play, which picks up about 5. So Grandview gets the penalty yardage back, which brings it to 2nd and 10. Again, you see the arm strength from Lee as he whips that ball out there to Kendall. Kendall makes a nice individual move and picks up 5. Lee with the snap, looking deep. He's got Lofton. Beautiful ball, and Ivan Lofton can't come up with the play. It looked like it may have gone on his weak shoulder, and he may have lost that ball maybe in the lights for just a second, but that was a heck of a throw by Ryan Lee, and the ball falls incomplete. But once again, you see Ivan Lofton with the speed to beat his wide receiver. They just have not made the connection deep yet, but you've got to wonder at some point in this contest if they will make that connection possibly for a touchdown. Grandview showing multiple formations tonight. The I formation out of the shotgun. Here's Lee. Turner in motion. And Belton will rush, and they will get the sack. And that is number 71 for the Pirates, Austin Holloway, the senior defensive lineman, with a huge, huge play. Getting the sack. That'll bring up 4th and 15. As Grandview loses the 5 they had gained on the pass previously to Kendall on the big sack by the senior defensive lineman. So 4th down. Grandview on the Belton 42. Will they go for it this time, or are they going to punt this one away as they have earlier? Lee will punt on the ground. Nice kick. Oh, Grandview cannot get there as the ball goes into the end zone, and I'll bring it back out to the 20-yard line. 14-7, Belton here on the Slice Network. Hey, if you'd like a DVD of this game, it supports the Slice Network and Grandview High School, who are partnering, and it allows Slice Network to continue to promote youth activities throughout the Kansas City area. Visit myslicetv.com after the broadcast to support by purchasing a DVD. So Belton will take over, led by their senior quarterback, number 3, Sean Lewis, who has 2 big touchdown runs tonight, giving Belton the lead. There's Lewis again. And this time it is wrapped up by the Bulldogs. A host of Bulldogs on the play to make the play on Lewis, who has hurt the Bulldogs a few times on the play you just saw, and that's that fake to the fullback. Keeper kind of using that fullback as a lead blocker. That play has gone for 2 touchdowns already for the Pirates. So once again, Lewis under center. I formation 2 wide to the bottom of your screen. This time it's a pitch play. And it is swamped. And once again, folks, you can see it just happening before it even happens. And that's Josiah Quick, the 280-pound senior defensive lineman, who makes another big play for the Bulldogs, as he has done all season long. 3rd down. Belton, 8 yards to go on their own 22. And it has been amazing what Quick has done this year. Not only on defense, as you saw just right there, but he's also been a very good offensive lineman for the Bulldogs. He is a force to be reckoned with. Lewis back to throw. Looking to let it go, and they have a wide receiver wide open over the middle. That was number 42. Taylor Trapp, the junior tight end, but the ball is dropped by Trapp, and he was open over the middle. That would have been at least 25 yards on the play, maybe 30, maybe even a touchdown, as Trapp drops it over the middle. Good throw by Lewis, the senior. Coach Leach had talked about Trapp earlier when we spoke with him this week as being one of the better players. Big physical young man. He also plays linebacker on defense. 4th down. 8 to go, Belton. Appears as if they will punt. The punter for Belton is Thomas Clary, the senior, who also is a wide receiver and defensive back for the Pirates. Clary will kick it away, and it's a good kick. It will hit the ground, and it will bounce inside the 40, inside the 35, slowly rolling down to the 33-yard line. So Grandview will be pushed back, and they will start their offense on the 33 after an excellent kick by the senior kicker, Clary. Once again, I am Heath Cooper here alongside our audio engineer, Marcos Thomas, and our executive producer, Sheldon Neal. Join us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. We post exclusive content, and we'll keep you up to date on future broadcasts and events. Check us out at myslicetv.com and click like or click follow to follow us. Lee back to throw. Again, airing it out. It's Lofton again, who looks like he might have been held on the play, but there is no flag. It looked like the defensive back for Belton had a good chunk of Lofton's jersey that time, but it is not called, so it will bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Bulldogs at their own 26-yard line. Special guest in the booth right now is Dr. Turan, the superintendent of schools for Grandview C4, making an appearance. Pass out to the flat is complete. Up to the 30, up to the 35, and up to the 36 for the Bulldogs is number 31, who is not on our roster, folks, but an excellent play by number 31, which will bring up a Grandview 1st down. So again, Lee with the strong arm, throwing out to the flat. They may have found a weakness here in the Belton defense as they continue to throw in the flats and then attempt to throw over the top, looking for Lofton, who has yet to make a big play on offense, but has been open several times. Lee will sprint out. He is under pressure, and he is sacked. So he is sacked by number 50 for Belton, number 58, excuse me. That is Tyler Gorman, the junior defensive lineman, was the first Pirate to get in on Lee and make the sack. So that'll bring up 2nd down. And probably 14 yards for the Bulldogs. One thing I'm sure Coach Leach is thinking of right now is how much time you want Belton to get the ball back. It is only 2nd down, but the way the senior Sean Lewis has played so far tonight, you probably do not want him touching the ball again this half. So there's a timeout on the play. We're here live at Grandview High School on a homecoming night. Belton 14, Grandview High 7. So Grandview talks it over. They've got a play they believe will work tonight against the Belton defense that's been pretty good. Only given up 7 points so far. They've been really strong against the run, with the exception of the Jarrell Alexander touchdown run and a couple of other plays. But otherwise, Belton so far only given up 7 points, 5:43 left here in the 2nd quarter. Turner in motion. Lee back to throw, looking over the middle, and that pass is batted down and almost intercepted by the Pirates as number 42, Taylor Trapp, the junior linebacker. Again, one of those underclassmen that Coach Thomas has on his group of Pirates, who continues to improve weekly and is really building up some confidence in this Belton Pirate program, which is going to be a force to be reckoned with. We told you, don't be fooled by the 1-5 record. This is a much better team than what their record shows. Lee, little screen play, and that's open to Freedom Akim Muladen, and he is going to go for a while. He's up to the 40 and down to the 41-yard line as a beautiful call by Coach Leach and his staff on a screen play to the tight end, Akim Muladen. And that one goes, folks, for about 28, maybe 30 yards. So that will bring up a 1st down. And folks, we've got a penalty on the play, and this one's coming back. So, wow, what a call by Coach Leach. It's wide open. Akin Mladen makes the catch. There's great blockers ahead of him. He picks up almost 30 yards, and this one is going to come back. And talk about a momentum shift on this play. Right when Grandview looked to maybe steal some momentum, maybe be in scoring position going into halftime here, they are now backed up all the way to their own 28-yard line. That will bring up a long third down here for the Bulldogs from their own 28. So Belton dodges a bullet. Lee under center. High formation. Lee's looking. He's got Lofton again, who looks to be open. And he makes a play at the 39-yard line. And that's the Ivan Lofton that we have known about throughout the year as one of the better wide receivers in Kansas City as he goes up to make the play against the Belton defensive back. So a big play, and we mentioned earlier, Lofton appeared to be open several times. They just haven't connected yet with Lee. Lee, one back in the back. It's a direct snap to Jarrell Alexander. He's got the middle wide open, and he will rumble down inside the 30. So a nice pickup by Jarrell Alexander here on homecoming night. Will bring up a 2nd and 1. So the Bulldogs are in business here. With plenty of time remaining in the second half. 7:34 in counting. Belton leading 14-7, but Grandview driving here. Again, direct snap. Jarrell Alexander right up the middle, and he will get the first down for Grandview. So the clock will stop as Jarrell Alexander, who's had a fantastic game tonight, runs for the first down after the direct snap. So kind of a new little wrinkle from Coach Leach's group that he has put in recently. In shorts, Jarrell Alexander's making some great runs, but you look up front at Akeel Williams, Appa Visenya, Freedom, Akim Mladen, the tight end, Josiah Quick, creating some big holes for Alexander. Direct snap to Turner right up the middle, and he will rumble down to the Belton 20, where he is met by the Belton defensive lineman number 71, Austin Holloway, the senior, but not after a gain of about 5 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6. Grandview driving. They're on the Belton 20. 3:48 remaining until halftime. Once again, stay with us at halftime as Marcos Thomas will be down to interview the homecoming king and queen winners tonight. Slant play, Lofton. Did he fumble the ball, folks? Or was he down on contact? We are waiting for word from the referees, and they are going to say he is down. That is not a touchdown. He is down at the 1-yard line. It looked as if Lofton had fumbled the ball, but instead he is down by contact on the ground. Good news for Grandview. That brings up a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. So again, Lofton from Lee for a first down. Sneak Lee right up the middle for a Grandview touchdown. So that makes it 14 for the Belton Pirates. Grandview 13. Extra point on its way. Nick Frank back for the extra point for Grandview. Kick is up. Kick is good. So we are tied on homecoming night. A cool night. What a great night for football as we are tied 14-all at Grandview High School. Slice Network cameras visited practice this week. We'll check out Coach Leach and his troops. See Coach P working hard to get players ready for tonight. Coach Picard is the new art teacher here at Grandview High School. He's been at Grandview High for a few years. A guy the players like a lot. He's a young guy with a lot of energy. Has a real passion not only for the game of football, but for teaching as well. That's Coach Picard, also known as Coach P.
On the kickoff for the Bulldogs. Back deep for the Pirates. Number 20, Lewis McCamey, and number 28, Eddie Wineberry.
So, the Lee sneak brings it to 14-all. And here's the kickoff from Grandview. Once again, they will kick it on the ground. The return coming from Belton. They've been good on special teams all night. And they will return it up to the 44-yard line. So Lewis, who has been very instrumental in the Belton Pirate attack so far this evening, will get another chance with 3:15 remaining here before half. Folks, don't forget, stay tuned during halftime for our Dick Smith Ford halftime show, presenting the Grandview Bulldog Brigade, plus our very special announcement of the homecoming king and queen with Marcos Thomas. So stay with us, folks, at halftime. So it is Lewis again. Wineberry dotting the I, a wide receiver up top, a wide receiver at the bottom. Looks like Lewis is changing the play. Hand out to the fullback. No, Lewis keeps it, and he is met immediately by number 15, the kicker also for the Bulldogs, who just kicked that extra point, Nick Frank, there immediately to bring down the big body of number 41 for Belton, Darius, Jewett, the senior running back and defensive lineman who we've called several times this evening. Lewis, pitch play. And rumbling and stumbling down to the 40, inside the 35, and down to the 33-yard line after some key blocks up front for Belton is number 18, Thomas Clary, who is normally a wide receiver for Belton, has played some running back tonight, as there is a Grandview High player down on the play, and that is number 60, John Jackson, 230-pound sophomore, who looks to be shaken up on the play. So Clary, who has played mostly wide receiver this year, is now playing running back for Belton. And once again, we spoke early in the game about how Belton will run the ball. They will run the ball, and they will run the ball some more. They are a running team. They are a physical team up front. Coach Thomas has his offensive line playing well, and with a good senior quarterback as Lewis is, and that big bruising fullback, number 41, Jewett, and, a couple of really good running backs. They're a force to be reckoned with on offense. We had talked earlier, Belton, you see the record, and you see 1-5, but Coach Leach stressed to us this week, do not believe what you see in the record. This is a program on the rise, in a program that is improving, and they are improving with young guys. So once again, we are awaiting a shaken-up Bulldog. He looks to be okay as he gets to his feet. I'm sorry, that was not number 60. That was number 63. Weston Teal, the 220-pound senior, who will walk off the field under his own power, so it looks like Mr. Teal will be fine, and we'll probably see him back in the game shortly. So Clary on a big run down to the Bulldog 32, and there's plenty of time left with 2:34 remaining until halftime. Belton in a very good situation here to possibly score here and take the lead and the momentum into halftime. Let's see what the Bulldog defense, led by Josiah Quick, who we've mentioned several times Akeel Williams also on that defensive line. Number 88, the tight end Freedom Akamanladen on that defensive line. So there are some big guys up front for Grandview on both sides of their line. But so far, Belton's line has done a good job of neutralizing those 4 down defensive linemen, allowing Lewis, the senior, Clary, also a senior, and the big fullback, Darius Jewett, also a senior, to get going. So the 3 seniors in the backfield for the Pirates making a difference so far. But Grandview's defense, other than the 2 big runs, has played pretty good. So resetting here, 14-all here at Grandview High School on homecoming night.
Come on, Dubs! Get some!
Belton, ball on the 32. I formation. It is Wineberry this time in the backfield. Wineberry right up the middle. Big hole up the middle, and he will rumble for about 5 yards. As you can see, the nice shift that Wineberry possesses, that's a great strength for Coach Thomas and the Pirates, as they can go from kind of the power running game to the quicker Wineberry. So a good change in tempo for Belton, which has kept Grandview on its heels all night long. Once again, Clary will dot the I with Jewett at fullback. Lewis under center, 2 wide receivers up at the top of your screen. As Belton is threatening here with 1:49 before half. And they're calling for something with the clock here. And the officiating crew is requesting that 12 seconds be added, which will bring the time until our Dick Smith halftime show to 2 minutes and 1 second. Once again, stick around for halftime here on the Slice Network, as we will have Marcos Thomas, our audio engineer, interviewing the homecoming king and queen. Pitch, Clary, left side, big hole. The senior running backs rumbling down to the 12-yard line. So, Belton in business. Clock running. 1:50 remaining until half. And Belton will take a timeout. So Coach Thomas is going to talk to his troops. Maybe set up a play. Boy, you see the weapons Belton has, and you see why Coach Thomas goes with that solid running game. They've got Jewett at fullback, Lewis, the senior quarterback, and a host of running backs, and a guy we haven't seen so far, an underclassman, Joshua Hicks. We have not seen him at fullback, and he has played quite a bit for Belton this year, so they have some depth in that backfield. Look over at the Grandview sideline. Coach is trying to coach up his troops to maybe get a stop. And I'll tell you what, Grandview's defense has been fantastic inside the 20 all season. They're a team who seems to get tougher the closer the ball gets to the goal line. It is Lewis under center. The handoff is to Jewett, the fullback, the senior, and he will get about 5, maybe 4, down inside the Grandview 10. Clock moving, 1:35 and counting until halftime. In a tightly contested game here on homecoming night at Grandview High School. High formation. Lewis, pitch play, Wineberry up the middle. Good blocking, but the play is made once again. Folks, do I need to say the name anymore? But I will. Josiah Quick. Josiah Quick makes the tackle again. What a difference maker this young man is at the defensive tackle position. As you see the picture of Josiah there at 280 pounds, if colleges aren't recruiting this young man right now, they better start doing it because that young man is a difference maker. And in a league that is chock full of defensive linemen, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not the best defensive lineman in the Suburban Conference, and he's made a huge difference in this game tonight. 3rd down and 6. From the Grandview 10, Belton ball. As we are having some clock problems once again. They'll add 5 seconds. That'll bring up 1:05 until our Dick Smith Ford halftime show featuring Marcos Thomas, who will be interviewing our homecoming king and queen. So stick with us here on The Slice. Roll out to the left, and Lewis is going to be brought down for a big sack. And that is number 88, Freedom McKinley Lawton. The 225-pound junior defensive end makes a huge play for the Bulldogs, which will bring up a 4th down. Belton will attempt a field goal that's about 32 yards. It's going to be a heck of a kick here by Chevalier, the sophomore kicker. Timeout. Grandview. So Coach Leach probably setting up or just warning his troops of maybe a possible fake or maybe simply icing the sophomore kicker, Chevalier. Once again, stick around and stay tuned at halftime. We are about a minute away from our Dick Smith Ford halftime show. We'll feature the blue and gold Bulldog Brigade and the announcement of the homecoming king and queen and interviews from our very own Marcos Thomas. So a huge field goal coming up here for Belton. Chevalier, only a sophomore, so you think maybe he's feeling just a little bit of pressure, although it is only the first half, but this will be a huge momentum changer over to the Bulldog side if he can make this kick. 32 yards. Kick is up. Kick is on the way. It's in line, and it is good. So what a shot by the sophomore, Chevalier. Excuse me. That's a good kick. Brings the score 17 for the Belton Pirates, 14 for Grandview. 27 seconds remain here in the first half in what has been a fantastic game so far here on a homecoming night at Grandview High School. Once again, if you'd like a DVD of this game, it supports the Slice Network and the partnership we have with Grandview High School, which allows Slice to continue to promote youth activities throughout the Kansas City area. Visit myslicetv.com after the broadcast to support by purchasing your own personal DVD. So a tightly contested game here in Grandview. Belton leads at 17-14. 23 seconds remaining before half. In what has been a very well-played game by both sides. Sean Lewis, the senior quarterback for Belton, has 102 rushing yards in the first half, including 2 touchdowns. Ryan Lee, the senior quarterback for Grandview, has 117 yards passing, 97 of those going to Ivan Lofton. The kick is short, and it is returned up to the Grandview 35. where they will be in business with 17 seconds remaining before halftime. So far, Belton with no yards passing, no yards receiving, but 173 on the ground, and that's been the difference in the game. Grandview with only 77 on the ground, but they are outpacing Belton overall because they have 117 yards through the air in the first half to Belton 0. See what Lee has to offer here. Back to throw. It's Lee. He'll throw underneath. The pass is incomplete. That was intended for number 85, Harvey Kendall, who had a catch earlier, just out of the reach of the junior's hands.
Oh.
14 seconds remaining. Belton 17. Grandview 14. In a game which has been really exciting so far. We've seen good defense. We've seen some big runs. We've seen some big hits from Josiah Quick, the senior defensive lineman for Grandview. Lee back to throw. He's got Lofton. And it will be short. Just a little short. Triple covered that time by Belton, which will bring up a third down. 3rd and 10. 9 seconds remaining until halftime. Once again, stick with us. Dick Smith Ford halftime show featuring the announcement of the homecoming queen and homecoming king and the following interview by Marcos Thomas. So stay with us, folks. Lee in the gun again. Back to throw it. He'll hand off to Alexander, who is met immediately, but a flag comes in as Alexander is met for a 2-yard loss, but there is a flag on the play, and they threw that in the backfield. First thing you would think is maybe a face mask. That's a hold, excuse me. So that will push Grandview back further. So 3.5 seconds remaining until halftime. You've got to think that Grandview will run out the clock here and go into halftime down 3. Belton declines the penalty. And that'll bring up 4th down and 10. Grandview, about 4th and 12. Grandview from their own 33. And that halftime is here, folks. And once again, stick around and stay tuned for our halftime show. It is Belton 17, Grandview 14 at halftime. Stick around for our Dick Smith Ford halftime show, in which we will have the announcement of the homecoming king and the homecoming queen. 17-14 Belton here from Grandview.
Hi guys, squeeze together. Squeeze. You guys come in tight. Come in tight. And I know these guys have to get to the band, so we're gonna make it quick.
You were a little bitty.
I do, don't I? You said told you. Told you. I'm mad. I did not know
Rachel was a pioneer in the genre of soul music during the 1950s by fusing rhythm and blues, gospel, and blues styles into early recordings with Atlantic Records. Soloists for this evening's performance were Sean Bernard on the trumpet, Gunnar Crane on the tuba, Jerry Jones on the trombone,
Amanda, are you staying on the line? We're coming back here.
And let's go down. Marcos Thomas is with our newly crowned homecoming king, Chance Jones, and our queen, Shelby Johnson. Hey, Marcos, take it over.
Thank you. And I'm here with the newly crowned homecoming king and queen, Chance and Shelby. I just wanted to know, how does it feel to be homecoming king and queen?
I was surprised. I didn't know I was going to win. I mean, I don't really have no feelings. I was, I guess, happy.
What about you?
It feels good. I just didn't know I was going to win. So, I mean, I'm shocked, but I really don't have any other feeling. I guess I'm happy.
You look really nice. Is this what you want to wear to the dance?
Yes.
I don't know if I'm even going to the dance yet.
Well,
if I go to the dance, I'm going to dress up.
Well, that's it for Slice TV. Thank you. Marcos Thomas with the interview from the homecoming king and queen.
So there's Marcos Thomas, one of our Grandview students, with the king of homecoming, Chance Jones, and our queen, Shelby Johnson, here at Grandview High School on homecoming night. And, folks, we are about a minute away from starting the second half here. It is Belton 17, Grandview 14. First half stats for you, sponsored by Dick Smith Ford. First downs, Grandview outgained Belton 12-5. Total offense for Grandview 192 yards to Belton 173. Passing stats 117 for Grandview, none for Belton. Rushing, big difference in rushing here. 173 yards for the Belton Pirates, averaging 9.1 yards per carry. Grandview 75 yards rushing, 3.9 yards per carrying. And once again, it is 17-14 Belton. We are at halftime here at Grandview High School on the Slice Network. I am Heath Cooper here alongside our executive producer, Sheldon Neal, and our audio engineer who you just saw, who announced our winners of the homecoming king and homecoming queen, the king being Chance Jones. The queen was Shelby Johnson. So congratulations to Mr. Jones and Ms. Johnson for winning those awards this year. So far, we've had a very competitive game. Belton making the difference, running the ball. They are averaging 9.1 yards per carry. It's been the senior Lewis with 2 long touchdown runs. On the other side of the ball, Grandview throwing the ball very well. Probably Ryan Lee's best night so far this year, as he has thrown for 117 yards so far, many of those going to the senior, number 81, Ivan Lofton. But it's Belton right at the end of the second quarter with a 32-yard field goal from Caleb Chevalier, the sophomore kicker, that gave Belton the lead at 17-14 here on homecoming night at Grandview High School. Hope you enjoyed our Dick Smith halftime show. Once again, for all your needs, visit Dick Smith Ford, a Grandview tradition for many, many years. You also saw the Bulldog Brigade, the blue and gold, and the announcement of our king and queen here at the high school, and the king being Chance Jones and the queen Shelby Johnson. So we are about ready to kick it off here in the second half of what has been a fantastic game thus far of 2 very equally matched teams. So will be the sophomore kicker, Chevalier, kicking off for the Belton Pirates. Ivan Lofton, Jarrell Alexander deep. And the ball is kicked out of the end zone, so that will be a touchback. So Grandview will take over at their own 20. Start of the third quarter here, folks. Total yardage so far has been about even. This has been a very well-played game on both sides of the ball. The big difference being Belton so far has ran the ball pretty effectively, especially with their senior quarterback, Lewis. And Grandview has taken advantage of the passing game with Lee leading both quarterbacks. As a matter of fact, Lewis for Belton has no completions so far, but it's been Lee for Grandview, who's had an excellent game throwing to his fellow senior Ivan Lofton. Handoff, Jarrell Alexander right at the middle, and there's a nice hole as he takes it up to about the 26-yard line. Again, we continuously talk about the offensive line of Grandview. Appa Visenya, Akil Williams, Josiah Quick, the tight end Freedom Ackerman-Lotta. So a good line up front and some speedy running backs for Grandview. And the senior quarterback, Lee, probably going to make a difference here in the second half. That's Javon Turner up the middle. Another decent hole will bring up a third down and probably 1 yard for the Bulldogs on their own 29. So you got to think at half, Coach Leach spoke to his troops about stopping the run, which has been a little bit of an issue, but honestly, Grandview's defense has played fairly well so far. With the exception of the two big runs, they've done a good job. Handoff. Jarrell Alexander. That's Javon Turner for a Grandview first down up to the 38-yard line. And again, another big hole up front. Appa Visenya. Zane Snipes, the senior as well, at 220 pounds. They've got a couple of young men on that line that are well over 350 or 300 pounds, with Appa Visenya weighing in at 356 pounds. I formation, Javon Turner. Fake handoff, Lee rolling to his right. He's going to keep it. He's going to go for about a 3-yard gain, so up to the 41-yard line. Scampers Lee. There is a flag down on the play. And the way it looks, it is going to probably be against Grandview, most likely a hold. They're going to push him back. It looks at the officiating crew is pointing back, and we will get word here. Holding on Grandview, so that'll push him back 10 yards. So that'll bring up 1st and 20 on the Grandview 30. That will go inside the 30-yard line. Matter of fact, almost inside the 20, right at the 20-yard line. So Grandview looked to have a promising drive here early in the third. Is now pushed back to its own 20. Lee under center, handoff. It's Turner up the middle, so good push from the line for about 6 yards. And early on, you see that very talented offensive line of the Grandview Bulldogs getting a good push here early. Unfortunately for the Bulldogs, they are now in 2nd and 22 from their own 26-yard line. Again, Lofton down at the bottom of your screen in single coverage, and they will throw to him wide open and up to the 39-yard line is the senior, number 81, Ivan Lofton. So that gets it to a manageable third down, as that'll bring up 3rd and about 10 yards. So another pretty pass from Ryan Lee, the senior quarterback, here on homecoming night. Right across the middle to one of the best wide receivers here in the metro area, Ivan Lofton. Lee, shotgun. They will throw to the flat. That's Turner, who stumbles and falls down, and he is going to be wrapped up by a host of Pirates, namely Holloway, the senior defensive lineman, whose name we've called several times. Austin Holloway does a good job reading the screen and wrestling Turner down near the Grandview 38. So 4th down, about 10 yards. We've seen Lee in punt formation several times tonight. You've got to wonder at some point if Coach Leach maybe has a trick up his sleeve here. Officials timeout. Looks like an equipment issue. So we are underway here. Again, Lee, the starting quarterback, who's also punted several times on 4th down, will do so again. Punt is away. It's a good one. Once again, Lee does a good job. It is received, and it is a fair catch by Belton, so they will get the ball at the 32-yard line. So out comes the big guns of Belton. Once again, Sean Lewis with the monster first half, 2 touchdown runs. He's the quarterback, the senior. The fullback, Darius Jewett. And really, folks, 2 different running backs. Eddie Wineberry, who's also a senior, and Thomas Clary, who normally plays wide receiver for the Pirates, has seen some time tonight at tailback and has done an admirable job. Offset eye. Lewis, handoff right up the middle to Jewett. He's going to rumble up to the 50, and he's still on his feet up to the 45 and down to the 42-yard line. So that, folks, is about a 25-yard run and a first down for Belton. Glad you're joining us here tonight on the Slice Network for a good one between the Belton Pirates and the Grandview Bulldogs. Multiple flags on the play, so it looks like it's going to be a false start. Let us take an opportunity to thank Days, House of Compassion. Days is a Grandview nonprofit treatment facility that works to assist young men in becoming successful and reaching their goals. Thank you, Days, for your continued support. If you're a business in the area and you'd like to promote your business, visit us at myslicetv.com and contact us. We offer advertising slots during our live games, plus affordable banner rates on our beautifully designed website. Contact us at myslicetv.com. Once again, Heath Cooper here with Marcos Thomas, our audio engineer. Executive producer Sheldon Neal. 8:06 remaining, third quarter, Belton 17, Grandview 14. Pitch play, Wineberry, left side. Good blocking, but met is Wineberry by number 34 of the Bulldogs. That is Carl Evans, the 185 senior defensive back, to come up to make the play. And that is one of the few times, folks, tonight where Grandview has gotten Belton for a loss, as their senior laden backfield has continued to grind out yards all night long. But that time, it is Evans on the play to make the stop, bringing up a 2nd and 15 for the Pirates. Lewis under center. He's going to keep it. He's going to pitch it this time. And rumbling down to the 30-yard line is a guy who we called several times tonight, Thomas Clary, the senior, normally a wide receiver, this time playing some running back. First down, Belton down to the 30. (17-14) Belton here on Slice TV. Thank you for joining us this evening on homecoming here at Grandview High School. Lewis under center. I formation. Handoff. Truitt up the middle. Trucks up Bulldog and continues to roll. And he might have dropped the ball. It might be on the ground. Grandview says they have it. And waiting for a call from the officiating crew. They do! Grandview football. So Grandview will take over after the Jewett fumble. So remember that play, folks. That could be a big one. Lee under center. Handoff. Jarrell Turner looking for some room, but it's just not there. And he is brought down for about a gain of 1. But, folks, note that play here. 6.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Grandview with a big strip of the big fullback Jewett. So they get the ball and maybe a little bit of momentum here early in the third quarter. Lee, handoff. Jarrell Alexander busts through the middle, and he is up to the 39-yard line. And what a run by Alexander, but what a great job up front by the offensive line of the Bulldogs to create a monster hole up the middle. And that time it was number 77, Zane Snipes, the senior, who got a nice block for Alexander, who springs free for a Grandview first down. Ball now on the 38-yard line. Grandview driving after the fumble. Alexander tries to break free, but he is met at the line of scrimmage. Number 52, Josiah Kratz, the senior defensive lineman, there to make the stop. Alexander may have got back to the line of scrimmage, may have lost just a little bit. So that'll bring up a second down and 10 at the 38-yard line. Great game here on homecoming night at Grandview High School. In the flat, the play is caught by Lofton, and he is met there by a host of Pirates. Lee again showing the arm strength to get it out to Lofton, but Lofton was met and immediately taken down, probably a gain of about 3 yards. Will bring up a 3rd and 7, Grandview from their own 41-yard line. So right when you think the Bulldogs have stolen some of that momentum away after the fumble from Jewett, Belton's defense has stepped up and has now forced a 3rd and 7 with 4:47 remaining in the third. Coach Leach of Grandview will get a timeout. Talk it over with his senior quarterback, Ryan Lee. Once again, earlier announced the homecoming king, Chance Jones, the homecoming queen, Shelby Johnson, in our Dick Smith Ford halftime show. Marcos Thomas, also a student here at Grandview High School, with the interview at halftime with those two young people. Once again, folks, you can see at the bottom of your screen there is a comment box. Chat with us. We'll mention some of our favorite comments during the broadcast, and we can get you on here on the Slice Network. Coach Bubba is back. Remember Coach Bubba from a couple weeks ago? Handoff again. It is Alexander, and he is met immediately by number 41, a number we've called several times tonight, Darius Jewett, who fumbled earlier but makes a play from his defensive end position. And this week when we spoke to Coach Leach about Belton, he said Jewett was their best defensive player at defensive end. He says he's one of the better defensive ends in the Suburban Conference, which, as you know, is a very good conference and loaded with defensive linemen, as we've seen all year long. Park Hill South, Platte County, loaded with defensive linemen, and this young man is probably one of, if not the best, in the Suburban Conference. Lee will punt once again. Another good punt. This time it's returned. Up to the 40, up to the 30, up to the 35. On a very short return is number 7 for the Pirates, Darren Johnson. A young man we had mentioned earlier who split time at the quarterback spot. Only a sophomore, but one of the guys that Coach Thomas for Belton is looking to build around. As once again we've talked about, don't be deceived by this 1-5 record. This is a better Belton team than what their record shows. Coach Thomas in his second year rebuilding, showing signs of improvement every week, and he's doing it with young guys, including the sophomore Johnson. Lewis Keeper up the middle, and he will get about 4 yards up to the Belton 39. 3:39 remaining, third quarter. Belton leads it 17-14 here on a homecoming night at Grandview High School. Second and 5. Again, a very well-played game by both teams. Really solid, good, fundamental football this evening. Lewis again, I formation, under center. He will hand it off to Jewett again with a big run, makes a nice move and gets inside the 50 of Grandview. So Jewett, who fumbled before to stop the Belton drive, picks up a first down for Belton. And for a big guy, you can see why Jewett is such a force at defensive end. He's an excellent athlete and is really a force to be reckoned with from the fullback spot. One thing to be very leery from here if you're a Grandview Bulldog is a Lewis keeper. They've continued to use Jewett at that fullback spot. And it'll be a false start on Grandview. It is blown dead, so there are several flags on the play. But Belton has pounded away with the fullback and some tailback runs here in the second half. So look possibly for one of these times for Lewis, the senior quarterback, to maybe keep it and use that fullback as a lead block as they did in the first half for the 2 long touchdown runs. Once again, we are live here on Slice TV. I'm Heath Cooper. Here at Grandview High School on a homecoming night. Good night for football as there's a chill in the air. The leaves are changing colors. And we are well into fall, and we are well on our way towards playoff football here in the state of Missouri. Both teams trying to get some momentum as they head into those playoffs. And this game here is really important. Coach Leach, when we talked to him, mentioned this is an outstanding night for Grandview to possibly pick up some momentum heading into the playoffs. There's that keeper, Lewis. He will follow that fullback lead for a gain of about 4.5, 5 yards inside Bulldog territory. That'll bring up 2nd and 10 after the penalty. 2:15, clock rolling here in the third. Belton 17, Grandview 14. You wonder how much this long drive and some of the penalties have affected Grandview's defense being on the field for a significant portion of this third quarter. Lewis, handoff, fullback dive. It is Jewett again, who will pick up a couple, bringing up a 3rd and about 8. Now, Belton has yet to complete a pass this evening. Lewis has only attempted 4 passes as they have relied heavily on their stable of senior running backs and fullbacks that they have. So Lewis has yet to put the ball in a receiver's hands, and we're almost through 3 quarters here in Grandview. 3rd and 8. I formation once again. Lewis back to throw. He'll throw it over the middle, and he was wide open. The receiver, number 33, Jaslon Willis, the sophomore wide receiver, was wide open and just dropped the ball. I believe that's the second time that has happened. So Lewis now is 0 for 5 on the night. No yards passing for Belton, all of their yardage coming on the ground. So they're back to kick, and this could be a dangerous spot. Is back to return it is Javon Turner, the junior running back, who is electric. Let's see if they kick to him. And they do not. They're going to kick to a side. Good kick. It's going to roll down and go into the end zone for a touchback. So, with a minute left here in the third, it is 17 Belton, Grandview 14, here on the Slice Network.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
You gotta be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
We are back at Grandview High School here on the Slice Network. 40 seconds remaining before the third quarter. Quick stat update for you. Belton with 248 yards now on the ground. Grandview 119, but they're making up for it through the air with 132 passing yards by Ryan Lee, who is possibly playing his best game so far this year as a senior quarterback. Lee, pass out to the flat. That's Jarrell Alexander, breaks a tackle, and he will get up to about the 29-yard line. As again, Jarrell makes an excellent offensive move and gets up and gets a very manageable third down. It will now bring up 3rd and 1. It looks like Coach Leach is going to let the clock run out. So we are now headed to the 4th. From Grandview High, Belton 17, Grandview 14 on Slice. We are back from Grandview High School. 12 minutes remaining. No scoring in the third quarter. Belton takes a 3-point lead, but it is Grandview's ball here. 3rd and 1, a big play. Lee in the shotgun. Direct snap, Javon Turner. It's a fumble. Grandview will dive on the ball, but unfortunately that will take them all the way back to their own 17, so a big loss, a key play there. As Grandview takes a loss, and that will bring up 4th down on what looked to be a pretty promising drive. I'd like to give a big shout out to Miss Houston, one of our new teachers here at Grandview High, joining us here on Slice. Punt from Lee. That will be returnable for Belton, around the edge at the 50, the 45. Good momentum down to the 40, still on his feet, down to the 35, down to the 30, 25. Good move, back to the 20. What a move! All the way into the end zone is number 7 for Belton, Darren Johnson, a young man who has played quarterback. And that, folks, is an absolute dagger to Grandview here, as it's the sophomore quarterback, defensive back, a young man who has played some time at both spots. Darren Johnson, only a sophomore, very talented young man, taking it the punt return all the way into the end zone for the Belton touchdown, which gives them the 23-14 lead with the extra point on its way. Kicker for Belton, who made a 32-yarder just before half, is Caleb Chevalier, the sophomore, and he is on for the extra point. Okay, there is an unsportsmanlike conduct call against Belton. So the touchdown counts, but Belton will lose some yardage on the kickoff. But it's Chevalier, the sophomore, on for the extra point. 11:03 remaining. Extra point is up, and the extra point is good. So it's Belton. Johnson, big punt return, gives Belton a 10-point lead as they lead at 24-14. 11 minutes left here in the fourth quarter at Grandview High School. Our next broadcast, folks, will be against the Kearney Bulldogs. So it'll be Bulldogs versus Bulldogs on October 12th, so a week from today. here at Grandview High School, 7 p.m. So check us out, Slice TV. (24-14). Belton with a monster of a punt return. And again, speaking with Coach Leach this week, he mentioned how talented some of these Belton underclassmen are. And the first guy he brought up was the young man who just took the punt back for the touchdown. Number 7, Darren Johnson, who's actually played some quarterback for him this year. And up until last week was Belton's main quarterback as they ran this option-style offense. Coach Thomas for Belton makes the change, brings in the senior, and he's been fantastic tonight. But Coach Leach said this Johnson kid is one heck of an athlete, and they have to do something to contain him. The kick is returnable, and it is returned up to the 45-yard line as it is number 20 for the Bulldogs. I'm sorry, a little tough to see, and that's Deontay Moss, the sophomore. So let's see what Grandview has to answer the punt return touchdown here. And one thing we've seen from this Grandview team all year is there's no give up. They will play till the end. Lee back to throw. Wide open over the middle. And hit hard is number 31 for the Bulldogs, who, I'm sorry, the name is not on the roster, but that's a good catch over the middle. And really an impressive play to hold on to the ball as he was smacked there. But a nice gain. Lee with a beautiful pass. Again, I think Ryan Lee's probably having his best night so far this year. And he's really showing why he has been a 4-year starter here at GHS. So first down and 10, Grandview at the Belton 28, 38. Lee under center. Alexander in motion. They're going to throw to Alexander in the flat, and he is smacked by the young man who just returned the punt for a touchdown, number 7, Darren Johnson. So he makes the touchdown play on the punt and then comes up to make a huge play on the running back for the Bulldogs, number 2, Jarrell Alexander. So that will bring up 2nd and 11 from the the Belton 40. 24-14, Belton leads it here. 10 minutes remaining in the fourth. Really well played game by both teams, very competitive. And despite the 10-point lead, a fairly close matchup. Lee over the top, looking for the tight end Freedom Ackerman-Lawden, who also plays basketball for the Bulldogs, just a little bit out of his reach. But you can see the explosiveness that this Grandview offense has. They've got 2 really good running backs, and we're not even mentioning Ryan Winters, who is out tonight. A very, very good offensive line. Ivan Lofton, number 81, the wide receiver. Lee, who's a 4-year starter here at the high school. They can put up points in a hurry. And they'll need to with 9 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the fourth. There's Alexander around the edge. If he gets a block, he might go a ways. And he gets up to the 33-yard line, so a good pickup. But it will bring up 4th down. Now, Coach Leach has a decision to make here, as this is probably 4th down territory. Bring up a 4th and 5. Looks like they are definitely going for this. So Lee, shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the top of your screen. He's going to look, and it is caught again by number 31. And unfortunately, folks, I do not have a name of that young man, but that is 2 unbelievable plays on this drive by number 31 as he gets another first down for the Bulldogs in what was probably the most important play of the game so far for Grandview. 9:30 and counting. And Lee, once again, we can't speak enough of how well he has played tonight. His passes have been on the money. Even his incompletions have been right there. Handoff Alexander around the left side. Good blocking. And he's still on his feet. Down inside. Now close to the 5-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal, Grandview. So Jarrell Alexander. Ryan Winters not here tonight. So Javon Turner and Jarrell Alexander picking up the slack of what usually is a 3-headed monster for the Bulldogs. And Alexander's having one heck of a game so far. Lee is under center. Handoff right up the middle. It's Javon Turner. Picks up about 3 yards. He was going right off the hip of one of his big offensive linemen. Again, that Grandview offensive line is one of the biggest in the metro area with 2 guys over 300 pounds. Big Appa Visenya in there at 356 pounds. And they might need every bit of it here inside the Belton 5. Lee under center. Quarterback sneak right up the middle, and he'll score. The Grandview touchdown. So it's Ryan Lee on the sneak. Extra point is up, and the extra point is good. So Grandview answers. After the punt return by Belton, they answer to bring the game back within 3. 8:21 remaining, 24-21. Belton here on Slice.
Hey, where you going? You can't get by me. I'm #1 in this class. I rule this lab. I'm #1. Hey, I don't think so. Yes! Winner! I am a king! Woo!
You wouldn't do it there. So, don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
What?
Jerk.
And we are back here at Grandview High School. Ryan Lee, quarterback sneak, and that young man is having a fantastic game tonight. Brings Grandview back to within 3. 8:21 remaining. Homecoming night. It's football weather, and we have had a great game here at Grandview High School as these two teams pretty equally matched. Doing it in separate ways. Belton with their running game, Grandview with their passing game, and here's the kickoff. It's a good kick. It is returnable. That's Wineberry, who takes it at the 20, up to the 25, up to the 30. He's got blocking. He's up to the 40. He's up to the 45, up to the 50, and he's finally brought out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So about a 40-yard return by Wineberry, who has averaged about 4.8 yards per carry at the running back spot and 5 touchdowns. Gets a huge return all the way up to the Grandview 41. So Belton's special teams have been phenomenal all night long on kick returns, punt returns, and coverage. So it is the senior quarterback once again, number 3, Sean Lewis under center. I formation, which we've seen all night long from Belton. Hand off to the big fullback. Jewett again. And he fumbles again. Belton saying they have it. We're waiting on word from the official. Still waiting here, folks. Looks like Belton has it. We have not gotten word from the officials yet. And they do have it. So a pickup of about 3 yards will bring up 2nd and 7. 7:38 and ticking here in the fourth. It is Belton 24, Grandview 21. And just what has turned out to be a phenomenal game here on homecoming night at Grandview High School. Lewis under center. He will keep it. And there's that quarterback keeper we had talked about. And there was a hole there. But possibly a touchdown-saving tackle made by Carl Evans, 185-pound senior. Makes a play on what may have been a touchdown here if he doesn't make that tackle. So good tackle, brings up third and about 3. So a huge, huge play here for both of these teams. You would think a Grandview stop, Belton still might go for it on 4th and down. But a first down here keeps this Belton train rolling. Lewis will keep right behind the block of Jewett in a really good push by the offensive line, and they will get up to the 29 yards, and it's a Belton first down. So another first down by Belton on the ground. Again, they have no completions tonight. So all of their yardage has been on the ground, and they've been fantastic on the ground as it's been Lewis, Jewett, Wineberry, another senior, Thomas Clary, and that big offensive line for Belton paving the way. 1st and 10 Belton on the Grandview 29. Handoff. There's Clary in the back. Field to make a huge stop for the Bulldogs is number 16, a senior, Austin Willoughby. Nick Frank, I'm sorry. I apologize. Looked like 16 there, but that was Nick Frank. Senior here at the high school as well to make a huge stop behind the line of scrimmage, bringing up a 2nd down and 12. 5:35 and ticking. Lewis taking his time here. Pirates looking to eat a little clock. Lewis back to throw. Double move. He's got a receiver, but he is overthrown. That stops the clock. So Coach Thomas goes for the kill there, but the wide receiver is overthrown, and Belton still without a completion tonight, but a lot of yards on the ground. And Coach Leach could not have been more spot on with his assessment of what Belton likes to do, and that is run the ball. Pitch out. That's Clary again, the wide receiver, but Grandview's there to make the stop. That'll bring up 4th down. That gives Belton 260 yards on the ground. So a good night running the ball. But really, outside of the two big Lewis runs in the first half, Grandview's done a good job. They really have done a good job on defense, considering the amount of plays that they've been out there and the talent that there is on Belton, and they are going for an absolute bomb of a field goal. This is a 43-yarder, the sophomore kicker. Kick is up, and it is no good. It is no good. It was short by a few feet, so Grandview will take over. Let's reset this, folks. Belton 24, Grandview 21. Grandview will take over the ball at their own 27. It'll be a first down. 4.5 minutes left. And if you're Coach Leach, you've got to like the fact that late in the fourth quarter, you've got a senior quarterback and a senior quarterback who has played an outstanding game tonight. Ryan Lee is the guy you want leading the charge here in the fourth. What a fantastic game we've had here on Slice tonight. Handoff. Right, Alexander. What a tackle! Number 20, it looked like Alexander had some room, and the tackle is made by yet another underclassman. Lewis McCamey, the sophomore defensive back for the Pirates, comes up to make a huge tackle. It looked like Jarrell Alexander had some room there. But he does get 6 yards. That brings up 2nd and 4. Grandview is on their own 27. Handoff right up the middle. Nice run. Good blocking. Well blocked that time. I believe it's Javon Turner for the Grandview first down. It was Turner. So it'll be a Grandview first down. So they get some more room up to their own 35, but the clock is ticking. It'll be 1st and 10. 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in what has been an unbelievable homecoming game here between two teams desperate for some momentum headed into a playoff season. Lee is blitz. There's that screen. Akeem Leiden again. He's on his feet, but he is brought down for about a 2-yard gain. And that was that screen we had seen earlier to Akeem Leiden that went for about 30 yards, but was called back for a hold. So Coach Leach draws it up again and gets a couple yards. Clock continues to tick. 3:01, 3 minutes, 2:59, 2:58. Lee, shotgun, out to Alexander. He makes one man miss, another man miss, still on his feet inside. Sorry, up to the 41. So Alexander with a nifty move, but he can only pick up a few yards. That brings up 3rd and 8, and that clock is ticking. The clock is now the enemy of the Bulldogs at 2:28 and moving. Plenty of time, especially with the weapons Grandview has with Lee, Alexander, Lofton, Akeem Leiden. Lee will go straight forward for a sneak, and it looks like he will get the first down. So a pretty important first down, obviously because of field position, but it stops the clock. So they will move the chains. I believe it is a Bulldog first down. And they are about 55 yards away from the end zone. Lee under center. Handoff. Alexander around the left side. He's got good blocking. And he's got the edge. Alexander up to the 50, up to the 45, up to the 40-yard line. So another Grandview first down. Grandview ball, 39-yard line. After a big run by Alexander, 1:53 on the clock, down 3. Lee under center, back to throw. He's got a wide receiver wide open at the 15, at the 10, and out of bounds. Once again, another big play by number 31. What's his name? Desmond Tyson, we just got word. And Desmond, we apologize to you, but for whatever reason, we do not have number 31 on our roster here. But Desmond, you have had an unbelievable game. That is your 3rd catch and your 3rd big play for the Bulldogs as the Bulldogs have the ball. Belton, 11. Lee sneak, and he's up inside or down to the 5-yard line. So the clock, which was once an enemy of the Bulldogs, now is on their side. As there's a minute and a half remaining and the clock is moving, that brings up a 2nd and about 5. What a game we have had here on homecoming night at Grandview High School here on Slice TV. 2nd down, 5 to go. Lee under center. Turner, Lee, sneak up the middle, and he is stopped, but he picks up 2 or 3 yards, so they are down to about the 3-yard line. 1 minute, 59, 58, 57. Clock is ticking. Grandview is going to call a timeout. So, again, what a great game we have had, as it has been a very clean game, a well-played game by 2 very well-coached teams, 2 teams that are desperate to get some momentum going into the playoffs. Very tense up here in the booth, very tense down on the field. Once again, I am Heath Cooper alongside audio engineer Marcos Thomas and executive producer Sheldon Neal. And Slice has brought you folks probably the best game Grandview High School has played this year. Here's some good news. You can get a DVD of it. Check us out on the website, myslicetv.com, and get your own DVD of this game right after the broadcast. So here we go. No backs in the backfield. Lee under center. Handoff up the middle, and he is in for the touchdown. Extra point up, and the extra point is good. So Grandview takes the lead. 27-24, 46 seconds remaining as Javon Turner rolls into the end zone for a Grandview touchdown. And folks, we have talked about this numerous times tonight. One sign of a very well-coached team is the ability to persevere during hard times. And Coach Leach and his staff has done a phenomenal job keeping these Grandview Bulldogs in this game. As you look at the large homecoming crowd this evening at Grandview High School. A cold night, but many Bulldogs fans sticking around for what has been an unbelievable game tonight at Grandview High School, as the Bulldogs take the lead 28-24. 46.8 seconds remaining on a long Grandview Bulldog drive led by the senior quarterback Ryan Lee. Some huge runs by Jarrell Alexander and Javon Turner, and some key receptions as well. Belton fumbles it, but they pick it up. And he's got some room at the 30. And he's brought down not quite to the 30, but the 28. So the Pirates, 41 seconds remaining here in the fourth. Down 4. Now, a stat to remember, folks. Belton has not completed a pass this evening. They have no yards through the air. They are 0 for 6. They are a running team, but they've only got 41 seconds. What can Belton do? As the crowd here at Grandview High School erupts in support of their Bulldogs. Okay, Belton calls a timeout. I believe that's their second, so they still have remaining timeouts left. And folks, what a game. I mean, what a game. What a perfect evening on a cold October night. Perfect for football. It's homecoming. Grandview Bulldogs were down the whole game.
Who got 41 seconds left in their tank? Let's go.
And you see Josiah Quick who's probably been the MVP on the defensive side of the football for Grandview, firing up his teammates, saying 41 seconds left. 41 seconds left. Who's got gas in their tank? So the crowd up on their feet at Grandview High School. Lewis, pass rush from the backside. It's Freedom Akamaladin. Lewis will throw, the catch is made up to the 49. Number 21, Nathan Dotson, the junior wide receiver, makes a huge catch that puts the Pirates up to their own 49. So they pick up about 25 yards on the pass. 33.8 seconds remaining. It is Grandview 28, Belton 24. And the first completion by the Belton Pirates happens with 33.8 seconds remaining in the game, as they are now 1 of 7 on the game throwing the ball, but boy, have they been tough on the ground, as they have consistently pounded away with their running game with a senior-laden backfield. They have 262 yards on the ground so far. They're averaging 8.2 yards per play. And again, Coach Leach had mentioned that this week. They are a running team. They are physical. They are talented in the quarterback position and at running back, and they have proven it tonight. But it's Grandview with the Javon Turner run to take the lead with 43 seconds left. We're now at 33.8 seconds left here at Grandview High School. It's Grandview 28, Belton 24 here on Slice, folks. And let's listen to this Grandview crowd get into this one on homecoming night. Here comes the blitz, and he is sacked! He is sacked! Freedom, Akeem Maladen with the sack back to the 40-yard line. So the clock runs, 20 seconds, 16, 15, 14, Belton with no timeouts. They will spike it, killing the clock with 9.7 seconds remaining.
Third down.
So that brings up 3rd and 10 after the huge Akeem Oladen sack. Just a monster of a play. Akeem Oladen, he didn't really have a superb night at tight end like he normally does, but what a great play by Akeem Oladen to get the sack. And listen to this Grandview crowd on homecoming night erupt in support of their Bulldogs. Listen to this crowd, folks. I've never seen this stadium this loud. There is a flag on the play, and that is against the Belton Pirates. Delay a game. Brings up 3rd and 25. Belton from their own 35-yard line. And once again, listen to this crowd on Slice. Lewis back to throw. Over the middle, pass is incomplete. That brings up 4th down. 6.2 seconds remaining, so this is the game. Grandview, 28. Belton, 24. After a comeback by the Bulldogs, they score with 43 seconds remaining on a Javon Turner touchdown run to take the lead. Belton gets about a 25-yard reception, and then it's Freedom Akeem Maladen with a huge sack that pushed Belton back. So Grandview gets a timeout.
Get up, bro. Tell him to straight forward, bro.
And folks, what a picture-perfect ending this could be. Homecoming night. Huge, huge crowd. As we saw Chance Jones named the homecoming king. Shelby Johnson, the homecoming queen. Grandview scores with 43 seconds remaining, and they are one play away from winning what has been an unbelievable game from the Belton Pirates. Wow. You can't say enough for Coach Leach and his staff, what they've done to keep the team in the game. There would have been several times it would have been easy for those Bulldogs to lay down as they were down the entire game until 43 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. But what a great job by Coach Leach and his staff. They should be commended for the job they have done tonight. William Harris, Coach Picard, Gary Carl, Robert Webb, Coach Foreman, Marty Stewart, Brian Beatty, Coach Stanley, and Coach Dowling. Hats off to you this evening. But there's still one play, folks. Lewis back to throw. He's rushed, he throws, underneath, incomplete! And Grandview will win the football game. The only thing left is a Grandview kneel of the ball, and they are going to win this game in an absolute thriller on homecoming night here at Grandview High School. What a game. What a game. Homecoming crowd, a loud crowd, a Grandview team that continue to fight. There's Coach Leach, great job by Coach. A down by Lee, and this one, folks, is over. Final from Grandview High School on homecoming night. It's the Grandview Bulldogs 28, the Belton Pirates 24 on Slack